Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Call Time, a theater pod, where every role in theater matters. This is the space where we can talk about it all, where we can laugh, learn, and sometimes call out the chaos. So sign in on the sheet, because it's call time. Alrighty, everybody, my name is Marisa Helene Mast, and I am your hostess with the mostest. And today we are doing another Marquee Moment, which is where we put a show in the spotlight. I mean, not just a show, it could be an artist, an experience. I mean, we're mostly talking shows here, because, that's kind of what we do here. But we're putting it on your radar because it deserves to be there. So, take your seats. Go ahead and take a sip out of that very overpriced intermission cup that, you know what, I've made a lot of jokes about how people are when they buy the cup, but I'm just going to promote this right now. Buy the cup. You deserve it. And it deserves you.
Because we are one with the cup.
Anyway, before I lose it to the cult of the cup, today we're here talking with the cast and creative team for the U.S. premiere of The Murder at Ackerton Manor. Hey, y'all. How's it going?
Hello.
Hey.
Good.
So glad to be here. Hi, I'm Alex Keiper. I am the director.
Hi, I'm Mark Tinkey, and I play Curtis. I play Sterling Oliver, and I play Jane Marplestein.
Hi, I'm Andy Kindig. I play Raja Ackerton and also Pierrot.
Hello, I'm Charlotte Northeast. I play Ariadne Ackerton and Basil Lemon, the professor.
Wonderful to have you all here. I guess the proper first question would be, what is The Murder at Ackerton Manor?
An
It's a play.
excellent question. It's a play.
All right, goodbye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
This has been Call Time at Theater Pod.
Yeah, I'd say it's like, I've been describing it to people as like the 39 steps treatment on Agatha Christie. So like turning it into a clown piece, making it that we are sort of dragging the source material while also honoring the source material. And these three do a heck of a job at it, for sure.
Incredible. Already speaking my language because this is just my MO. So I'm very excited to know more about this today. I'm already laughing about it. So, like you mentioned, it's 39 steps coded. The show's considered like a loving tribute to Agatha Christie mysteries with like some Mel Brooks shenanigans thrown in. How do these worlds collide?
I think what's great about this piece is if you are a lover of Agatha Christie, you kind of also understand the things about Agatha Christie that we go, oh, really? And the little things that you're like, that's too convenient, or like how just they're all in the same place at the same time. That sort of stuff. And this kind of like allows us to go like, oh well, that's that just those little moments have been written into the show of like those aha kind of moments, which are the things we love about murder mysteries. That's why we keep everybody who loves a murder mystery keeps coming back to them for that exact same thing. And this does also a wonderful job of allowing that to be something that you're coming to do. You're still coming to solve the mystery of who is the killer, and that is a great thing too. So it's not just farcical and it's not just this Mel Brooksy style. You're also coming to solve the mystery, which is a great reason to come to a theater. So.
Absolutely. It's my favorite part, personally. Do you feel that sometimes it's a competition to see who solves it first, y'all or the audience?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like Agatha wrote puzzle mysteries. That was the whole bit. She was creating a game for her audience. She would give you all the clues that you needed to figure out the ending before you got there. But most of the time they were so coded or hidden that only if you knew her would you know how to look for them. So once you read enough of her stories, that was part of the fun, was like looking for her little Easter eggs that she might put in that you'd be like, oh, if somebody says this kind of thing, then that means we should be looking at them differently. Or if this person wasn't in the room when this happened, then maybe they know something about it. Little clues that leave breadcrumbs for the audience. And yes, ideally, they have a guess of who is the murderer, and ideally, that guess is wrong. You do hope to trick them, especially in the plays. especially when you put it on stage. You want
Yeah.
to take them on the journey and have them ride it all the way out and still be surprised at the end.
I think it's interesting too because you don't have to be a fan of Agatha Christie or know any of that to still have fun at the play. It's like there's all that stuff in there if you are a fan, and you'll pick up on it and you'll enjoy it on another level as well. But even if you've never watched anything, whatever, it still works as its own thing. So I think that's fun too, because it's not like you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm not in on the, if you haven't seen all 750 Marvel movies, then you don't know what's happening in the, you know what I mean? It's not like you're not part of the world, so you're not going to get it. Oh, yeah. So I like that part of it too, because I'm more of a casual Agatha Christie viewer. And so I know like the archetypes and, all the kind of the tropes and that kind of stuff.
I'm right there with you. I mean, like, I will admit I am a big Agatha Christie fan. I've been like, I get very involved in her mysteries. It's kind of a family thing. I also recently just watched, if you haven't watched it, this isn't sponsored, but if you haven't watched Seven Dials yet on Netflix, really fun.
I started it. Yeah, I did start that one. Yeah.
Very fun. Also left me more like, okay, Agatha would appreciate this, but there are some things missing. That's just me. But in terms of this production, this is its US premiere. Like, that is awesome. I love that. Do you feel that, I asked this for a very specific reason, which I will get into, but like, do you feel that for a US premiere, there have to be adjustments made for US audiences?
I'm not sure about this, only because I do feel like, because it's from Canada, the playwright is from Canada, and I don't feel like our cultures, or at least our styles of comedy or our taste in comedy are terribly different from the Canadians. We all love Schitt's Creek. I think many of us watched Degrassi growing up.
Letterkenny. Yeah.
Letterkenny. Like, there's plenty of stuff I think that we share in common. So in this specific situation, I don't think there are a lot of adjustments. Now, we were talking about this earlier because it's by a Canadian playwright, but set in England. And so he was probably having to make adjustments for himself to go like, what is appropriate in England? And then that's also what we'll bring here.
Yeah, no, I can appreciate that. Also, it's I don't know, it reminds me of the meme where it's the two arms like shaking hands, and it's just like Canadian audiences, American audiences, murder at Ackerton Manor. We both can like this. It's good. But for me, the reason I ask this is because as someone who is also a big fan of like farces, British farces, there is a pacing that comes with farce as well. That, all right, this is a little lore drop. Okay, so my dad got to go see Noises Off in London and loved it. And then he saw it again in America and hated it because they slowed everything down and the pacing was very different. How would you describe the pacing for this production?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is, and Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think this is technically in the farce category, this play. It has farcical elements, but I think it's definitely wants to live its roots in the mystery part. It just has this like overlay of redonkulousness on it, and that's a real word.
Yes, it is.
And so I think you don't want to short shrift the audience by going at breakneck speed until it's warranted. And I think the playwright gives us a bunch of moments where that happens. But we do want to unroll the mystery, not slowly, but put all the breadcrumbs out there so that the mystery aficionados can go, oh, you just said something very specific, and that's very specific. And you didn't, And so I think it's in between both of those worlds. And I think we do it more justice when we honor the tensions of mystery and the farcical elements sort of shoehorned into it. Yeah, I don't think this requires the same pace, but we'll see as we get into more. But yeah, it's not going to be there's not a lot of, there is a lot of doors, but not quite the same.
We love
kind
doors.
of doors.
Well,
there's
there's just the one door.
There's one door that opens a lot.
But it opens and closes a lot.
Therefore, it becomes more than one door. I understand very, very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd also say there's elements of camp in it. I think at least our production is going to be very campy. And like,
Amazing.
in a way that like, like sends us up, like that is the point. We're sending all of this up. So like we want to keep the story going, we want to keep the tension going, and there are moments of farce, but like we are winking at the audience in a very specific way throughout this play, in a way that I hope really like brings them into the fold. But yes, in terms of pace, I do think we just talked about it today. It's going to be important to make sure that they hear everything they need to hear, because without that, they won't get to play the game,
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask, as director, where is the line between precision and allowing that play to kind of occur as well?
It's so interesting. I like the way you put that, because I think the precision with comedy is very specific, but the precision with mystery is also very specific. You want to make sure you are like highlighting all of the things early on that they should be clocking without pointing at it so much that it gives the game away. So these three have this really tricky task of like dialing their performances each night to make sure we're leaving enough intrigue. Like very early on, Mark's character calls someone on the phone and says, this isn't a spoiler as he dies in the first scene, but Roger Ackerton is dead. When can you get here? And we don't know how he feels about that, right? We're unclear on how he feels about that, because Roger Ackerton is dead. That means everyone else in the house is a suspect, including this person who has just come in and found him dead. And so like, is he happy about it? Is he concerned? Is he calling the police? Like, who is he calling? We want to see elements of what is true without giving away all of it. So there is a lot of precision that they are going to have to work towards and are already finding. So these three, like we've only been working together for 3 days, but like their stagecraft is incredible. It's like, I just kind of go like, I think it's sort of like something like this, and then it moves maybe like, I'd love to see like this, and I want to see that. And then they're all like, oh, great. And then they do all the things. And then we clean it and make sure it's repeatable. And then we move on. So like their precision is already at a pretty high level, and I'm very excited for when we get to the showtime.
Oh, this is making me so giddy. Yes, I am. I also didn't realize 3 days. I've been working at 3 days. That's wow.
Yes. It's all very fresh.
I listen. Catch of the day. I love that. I live for it. So, for my wonderful actors here, you are all playing multi-tracks here, which is one of my favorite feats as a performer, and also just one of my favorite things to watch. And so I'm going to ask the impossible question. I mean, it might be impossible. Take that as what you will. Out of all the characters you play, do you currently have a favorite? And do you think that will change by the end of the run?
I have a favorite, and I don't think it will change, because it's so different from anything I've ever gotten to do, and I think it's obvious who it is to my director and my castmates. But yeah, so yes, so the answer is yes for me, and no,
okay,
it will not.
Okay,
I feel like I get to do the most. I feel like I get to do the most fun stuff as that character too. So that's sort of Not that the other two aren't fun, but like it's so different that I'm like yes.
I don't think it would be giving too much away to like, you could probably say who they are.
Jane.
Right?
It's Jane. It's playing the lady. It's playing the femme fatale. Like, come on.
I love.
That's, yeah.
I like that you tried to be vague about it though, Mark, that you were like,
I was going to ask either way. You can't hide this from me. I am a podcast host.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know how much we were like retelling, like, whatever. I mean, I told you who I'm playing, but still.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know me. They don't know that like I would revel in the drag performance.
We're learning so much.
I'm still getting to know my people. Ariadne's the one I thought I knew the most at the moment, but she's still giving me some curveballs. And then I don't know about Basil, but I feel like I like him more and more as he gets weirder and weirder. He's very strange, and I have to figure out all the ways he is strange. So right now I'm a big old question mark. Come back to me on that one in a few
I love
weeks.
that. Okay, to be continued.
Yeah, I for me because they're completely opposite. It's very fun. The nice thing is it's very rare that you get to be the dead guy. Though I have played that on stage before, but to be Roger Ackerton, and I'm not giving much away. It's just like Christie thinks. There's lots of flashbacks, and you see him come back, and kind of you get to see other people's perspective of why maybe this guy got killed, and so it's just fun being the bad guy, the one that everyone wants to kill in this whole production, and
Mm-hmm.
it's fun because I'm also giving some lovely exposition and little clues throughout the whole thing as Roger. And that's just fun because I know I'm giving them all the little breadcrumbs that they want out in the audience. So
Oh, I love all of that. Alex, do you have a favorite?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think the three that they highlighted are probably my favorite. They are like the silliest, I think, of each of those of each of their roles. And they are like the ones that truly like tickle you. I think they're the ones that the audience are going to be like moved to laughter, tears through laughter, maybe. Like they are so funny as these roles. And so like nuanced, and like what's cool about this run too is that we're doing it at Gretna, which is huge, big space, outdoors. It's a lot of seats, and it's a pretty wide, pretty tall space. And then we're doing it at the Fulton in the fall, where we're putting it into this tiny little studio space. So we'll have to take our big show and bring it all the way down. And these actors will have to then adjust their performances for, instead of reaching to the back of an amphitheater, they'll have to just hit the back wall of a fairly small room. So like their performances are going to shift and adjust. And I'm very excited, as now we're painting with very broad strokes and building some of that nuance underneath, but focusing on the broad strokes. When we get to the Fulton, we're going to be able to really focus on the nuance and those little things about those characters that like just get under your skin, like the way, in Seinfeld, the way Elaine like says, "Get out," and then like has her response afterwards. There's like just little reasons why you love her for doing that, and you can't know that without really knowing her. And when we're in the smaller space, they're really going to get to know these characters in a way that's going to be really silly and rewarding, I think.
I love that we live in a world where we can talk about Seinfeld in the same space as a murder mystery. This is the world I love living in.
Perfect storytelling.
Truly, though. Is it for these reasons of playing with nuance as well as like exploring two completely different spaces is that what drew you to direct the piece, Alex?
No, actually. I was cast as Agatha Christie. I played Agatha Christie earlier this year in a play about her disappearance. She went missing for 11 days in 1926. I'm sure you know if you're a Christie fan. And I was just playing Agatha Christie for about 5 months in a play called Mrs. Christie. It's a new play about that experience by Heidi Armbruster. I was doing that at Cincinnati Playhouse and then Milwaukee Rep. And it was a long process, and I learned so much about it. I literally knew nothing about Agatha Christie until I started getting ready for that show. And I want to say the fall, when I knew I was cast in that, I saw Gretna post about Murder at Ackerton Manor, and I read about it, and I was like, man, because I've directed at Gretna before. I directed Honky Tonk Angels here in 2022, and I was like, man, if that isn't a show that is calling my name as I am playing Agatha Christie and like eating up everything she's ever done or said, it's like, I gotta make sure Mike knows I want to do this. So I reached out to Mike, and he was like, I was already thinking of you for it. There's some stuff going on, and we might be doing a production with the Fulton, so like, let me get some stuff figured out, but I'll come back to you. And then it worked out amazingly. So I was drawn to it because of Agatha herself, Queen Agatha herself.
Bless. I love that a lot. I can appreciate that very, very, very much. And I'm glad that it all came through the way that it needed to, obviously. As an actor myself, I love to talk about the craft. I love to talk about the process. But I love to use this as an educational moment as well. And as we've already mentioned, this is a multi-track show for the three of you. I have recently talked with actors where even the idea of doing anything multi-track is mind-boggling and gives them anxiety. Not that other things don't, but this gives them the most. What advice would you have for performers who may have never approached a multi-track before?
I think you have to look at it as a gift. What a gift it is to stretch those muscles in so many ways. I will admit it's a little daunting, but the way you get over that is just make bold choices. I call myself an actor who throws things at a wall and see what sticks. That's not everybody's method. And so I make a mess, like a real mess. It's a good thing I'm not like a visual artist. But I think you have to make really bold choices, and you have to be not afraid of failure, because that in failure is where you find the most gold most of the time. So if you're not afraid of failure, or at least you're willing to attempt failure, you're willing to make bold choices, and you're willing to be silly, and you're willing to lose yourself in physicality and vocal choices and, eccentric choices, then it's really a gift to play multiple characters. I've always loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It goes back to my earlier days when I would just be in the ensemble of a musical. I mean, literally, you walk off stage one scene and you're a tap dancer, and the next scene you're you're singing a song as a dirty old man in Annie. It's like, it's just you. All of a sudden, you're like, and switch hats, and just go. Like it's what we do. It's just quicker than It's great to be one person in a show, but it's also just so much fun to be able to be like, and now I'm this person, and switch to this. And I joked today because we briefly talked about this at rehearsal. I said it's the box of hats. It's that game you played in middle school or high school theater class where you're like, and now I'm a cowboy, and now I'm a farmer, and now I'm it's like, and now I'm every member of the Village People. Charlotte said it best. It's choices, big choices, and no fear. Really is what it is for me. You're gonna mess up. It's okay. You learn from failure. If Meet the Robinsons, the movie, the Disney movie, it's like you failed. Yes, like that's what it is. That's how you find out what works. And so that's what's really cool, especially about. I'm just say that in this room so far, we have lost track of all the times where we've cracked each other up because of our good and bad choices that we've already made, and that is that's pretty fun to be that in day 3.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
To build on what Andy was saying about the room too, I think where I know I feel super comfortable with everybody. I think everybody just has this comfort level that it's like you're not afraid to be stupid and silly. And Alex has established that environment that it's like, yeah, let's see, try it. And it's so that is that goes a long way to helping you make those choices, because you don't always get that environment that feels nurturing of that. But yeah, and also to build on what Andy said, I come from a musical theater background, so it never feels different to do a multi-track show, because it's like, well, that's what I've always kind of done. So, and I've understudied a lot, and and I've understudied multiple roles in the same show, and so it just all kind of like builds, on all of that. So now you're just doing that, but more in a play. So I don't have to learn music or choreography. So it's actually easier.
There you go. Amazing. I love this is wonderful advice. These are things that I appreciate hearing, because I agree wholeheartedly as someone who has done multi-track multi times. Never ceases to amaze me, never ceases to surprise me. And that all being said, I would love to know from each of you if there's anything that you've been learning about yourself so far through this creative process. I know it's only day 3, but if you've had any reflective moments, I'm very intrigued to know.
I can at least start in saying, in 2022, that was my first professional directing gig. And then I have been acting since and haven't gotten to come back to it. So this is really only my second time as director officially at a capital T theater. And I feel very relaxed. I feel like the ability to just understand that being a director is just finding the right people and putting them in the room together and asking them to take the risks that you hope they feel comfortable taking, and then communicating with those designers and making sure it all kind of comes together, that it doesn't have to be, you don't have to have any kind of status or ego or anything attached to it. It can just be you, this person who all of your friends already know, and like you can be that person in this room as well. I think it used to be like old, back in the day, that to be the leader in the room, you were told, especially for women, I think you were told you have to assert yourself. You have to be assertive, otherwise they will never respect you. But not so much that they will call you the B word, but just enough that they will know that they can't walk all over you. And like, while I so appreciate where those women were coming from and advise why they would advise that, I do hope that is shifting. And that's at least what I have seen, that it is slowly shifting. And at some of those bigger, like really huge companies, that there are certain pressures that directors have, that we've been given a lot of trust here to just go and make the thing. So I'm very grateful for that. And grateful to be on this artistic journey with these goons.
That was beautiful. I will admit I almost got a little emotional because what you just said validated a lot of things that have been on my mind this week. So thank you for that. Who's next?
I'll go. Fine. No,
Twist my arm, why don't you?
twist my arm. No, okay. For the joking side, as I get older, it's still hard to memorize things. But
Valid.
especially as life gets more like crazy as I get older, family and kids and other things going on. You're like, what? And I joke today, it's really hard when there's a World Cup happening, and as a soccer fan, I'm like, I got like 5 games to watch today. I can't memorize lines. But no.
Yes.
To jest. No, I will say that I don't get to do shows all the time. So being back in the room and in the sandbox, as some people call it, is always a joy. And it's a lovely reminder of that little spark just being like, hey, I'm here, and I love that. So it's joy to be back in a room and getting to make choices and getting to make people laugh and knowing the potential of a show and what we do in theater and how awesome that is. So that's just something that every time I'm back in a room, it's a nice little reminder of that for me.
I said to Charlotte today at one point, we were watching Andy throw up in a handkerchief in a variety of ways. And I turned to
As
her
one
and
does.
said, we're
That
at
was part
work."
of the show. That was part of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
No,
a
just
bit.
casually
It was a bit.
blowing chunks. Yeah.
It was a bit. And I was like, yeah, we're at work right now. And we just had a giggle about it because it was like, yeah, and I think it's, what Andy's saying again, where it's like you realizing how lucky you are to be there and appreciating it and taking a moment to say that and be like, wow, like we're laughing and we're joking, we're having a good time. And like the most serious thing that's happening right now is like figuring out how to vomit in the handkerchief, and it's like, that's such a gift to have that be your world, even if it's just for a few hours. Then you have to go back and like, deal with other jobs or whatever. Yeah. So I think, always like reminding yourself that this is special. And then introspectively, I thought a Yorkshire accent would be much easier. So I thought it was in there. I thought it was in there, and it is, but it's just I'm having to work on it a little bit more than I thought. So yeah,
That's the realest thing I've ever heard. And
I don't have my heels yet either. So we're gonna see. So that answer could change.
I think, I echo what Andy and Mark said, that, there was a moment when I'm running around in a cloak with a ruler in my hand as a substitute for a deadly weapon. And I was like, this is my day. This is what I did today. That's hilarious. So that's always fun, it's also kind of like surreal. What did you do today? I did not solve cancer, but I did run around with a semi-deadly weapon and in a cloak. Like, that's absurd. Anyway, And the other thing is like what Andy was saying is like, yeah, I am a woman of a certain age. And so my body and brain don't work the same way. So I just have to work harder. But at the same time, I couldn't play these roles without all the stuff that I did before. You know what I mean? These characters are written for actors who have been around the block a little bit and can pick these things up really, really fast. And you know, my characters are actually written to be 45 and 50 years old. So thanks, playwright. Yeah, it's making sure your brain and body are conditioned enough to do it, while also appreciating all that you've done before in order to do this thing. So it's a weird dichotomy that's in place. And just, I'm apologizing in advance to Andy and Mark for any time I completely forget a line. That's for you. And that's on public record. Thank you very much.
This is one of the reasons I love doing this podcast and doing this segment, is because I love hearing about where artists are in their process and understanding, like, just rejuvenating the idea of, yeah, this is our job. This is amazing that we get to do this for fun, for pay, for reasons unknown. It's always a mysterious third thing. And I am deeply touched. I'm not even saying that for the bit. I am deeply touched. And so what I would like to do now is, I would like each of you now to look down the camera, and I want you to manifest the future of the play Murder at Ackerton Manor, but also your run. No wish is too big. This is a magical moment.
Well, the most immediate wish is that it's not 100 billion degrees when we're doing the Gretna run. Please and thank you. And then the more long term is that, you know, this American premiere is such a success that, you know, somebody wants to pay us to do it more. And then the playwright gets it published and our names are there because we did stuff. And then we go to Edinburgh and do it at Edinburgh. And then we go to the moon and do it there. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. But seriously, no, I just hope we do it justice and we have a great time along the way. And that, yeah, it's not 100 billion degrees.
I'm going to say for the manifestation, let's just say that if people can't see it at Gretna, and that the word of mouth that happens after Gretna, they go, oh, that's awesome. They're doing it in October at the Fulton. Because I will say, for those out there who frequent Gretna shows, there's often that time where you went, oh, I want to see that. Oh, that closed already. It's just the nature of summer stock. It's quick, and you're like, the turnovers are quick. And then you're like, oh, I missed it. But if you miss it, come see us later. But don't miss it, because they're going to be completely different because of the spaces and because of the environment. And, you know, I echo the same thing. You know, every new piece of a theater, new work, I just wish it the best, because that's what we need. We need new theater. We need new works. We need more playwrights who feel that they can put works out there and feel confident about them. And it's awesome to be able to do a show that's the American premiere. I mean, that's great. That'll be a little star on the resume. Come on, that's amazing. So yeah, best of luck to this as it manifests forward into the world.
Yeah, I think all of us know playwrights, and we have a playwright in Charlotte in our cast. And my husband is a playwright, and I've watched. He has a play that's going to Edinburgh this year, and the process has taken 3 years. No, 4 years. You know, it takes a long time to get a play to the place where it feels producible, and then to get it to a place where it feels producible in another country, where someone looked at it and went, you know what, I do want to produce this. And I don't think it has its licensing yet. I'm not totally clear on that, but I don't think it is officially produced yet. So I guess my hope for the future for Stephen Gallagher, who wrote this play, is that it takes off. I think we need more plays like this too. If you look at the seasons that are being chosen at different companies around this country, they are always looking for a comedy that will draw audiences in with some kind of namesake. And for something this creative and funny and gets a little bawdy and edgy and silly, it just offers audiences a chance to see a good version of this kind of play. I'm excited to like bring this one to life and give it a little shake up here and see who nibbles at it, because they should be doing it all over the country. It's very funny.
They've all kind of said with just wishing Steven the best with it, because it is funny, and it's great that it's gotten as far as it has already, because there's so many don't get to this. I mean, how many plays have been written that have never been produced? We'll never know because they were never produced, right? So that's amazing, and I wish him all the success with it. For us, in our run at Gretna, I don't know, I'm just like manifesting and hoping that we will continue to have fun with it, because we've had so much fun these first 3 days, and I just see that continuing to grow, and us discovering more things and having more fun with it. And I think we already have been given such a gift with getting the run at Fulton later on, because we have such a truncated run at Gretna that I think just when we're feeling like, oh, yeah, I kind of know what this is, and we're feeling comfortable and we're getting a groove, then it's going to be over there. But then we're going to be able to come back to it. And then we have a really nice, healthy run at Fulton, and we get to discover it in a whole new way. And so I mean, that's not really manifesting because it's already happening, but just that we will, continue to find things with it that we enjoy about it, that we, that we just that fun energy, that spirit that we have right now, that continues. And then wherever it goes in the future, if any of us can be connected with it down the road or have a part of it, that would be amazing. But if not, we were always the first American cast, and we did leave our mark on it in that way. So I think that's the interesting thing about plays, right? There's, they have a history, and so many times you think about like original Broadway cast or whatever, but then they go on and they have this life, and then other people are connected through it. So I don't know. It's just, it's like you're part of this chain, wherever it goes and whoever is with it in the future. So whatever happens, we have this. And I think it's, about appreciating that and the moment of that.
Absolutely incredible. I'm a witchy woman. I'm a very at one with the universe kind of woman. And I say it is written. Absolutely, 100,000%. I will do my sealing spell on this after we wrap. The last question I think I have, which is probably one of the most important questions, is when and where can people come see the show, and where can they find more information about what y'all are up to?
Well, we start performances on the 9th, on July 9th. And they run that's a Thursday. So July 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. They run Thursday through Sunday at Mount Gretna Theatre, gretnatheatre.org. And if you want to come join us in the fall at the Fulton, thefulton.org, you can come join us there. I think we start performances on October 16th, and they run until November 8th. If you show up on the 11th, they'll be gone.
The ghosts will be there. Amazing, incredible. I am so excited for this show. Like I really have no other words to be like, I am so excited for this show. Like I sound like a complete nerd right now, like geeking out, but like this is everything that I love. This is giving me lots of good heart feels, lots of good mystery feels. I want to make sure that everyone knows to go see this. So all of that information is going to be on screen and in the description box below. Y'all, this has been the best. I am so glad to have had you all here today. Thank you all so much for being here. And I want to thank all of you out there in Living Land for tuning in and signing in on the call sheet for this wonderful episode of Call Time, a Theater Pod, Marquee Moment for the Murder at Ackerton Manor. My name is Marisa Helene Mast. You are the audience. Bye-bye now.
This podcast was made possible through the support of viewers like you. Thank you!